We have an incredibly powerful promise in front of us this week as we look at the famous love section in 1 Corinthians. And the promise is in 1 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 8, where it says very simply, love never fails. Love never fails. Now, there's an unwritten opposite side of that, of course, that if love never fails, that means that showing the opposite of love will always fail. And so when we are impatient, when we are unkind, when we keep a record of wrongs, whatever good we think we are accomplishing, what we're really doing is failing. And there's a really pretty simple way to determine whether we are putting a relationship on a path to greater things or putting that relationship on a path to something entirely different. And it's to take this famous section in 1 Corinthians 13 where it defines what love is. Love is patient, love is kind, it doesn't envy, it doesn't boast, it isn't proud. And anywhere you see the word love, you replace the word love with the word I, and you say the phrase out loud, and just see if your heart agrees with what you're saying. And so let's just do some of these together. I'll say it out loud, and you can say it out loud with me if you'd like, if you're in a place where you can do that. But just see if your heart agrees with yourself saying these things out loud. And the first one, of course, is, I am patient. And I'm pausing a lot to test your patience to see if you really are patient. The next one is, I am kind. I do not envy. I do not boast. I am not proud. I am not rude. I am not self-seeking. I am not easily angered. I keep no record of wrongs. And there are more phrases, and we could do more. We could spend more time with that, but that's, maybe that's enough. But it's an easy way to determine if we're making things better in the relationship or if we're contributing to the problem. And yet, even though it's really easy to define what love is and really easy to see if we're doing a good job of putting it into practice, it's not always easy to show love. And not just because some people are very unloving towards us, but because of a very simple fact about showing love, is that it doesn't always work. It doesn't always work. And you might know that if you've ever been really good at showing love and you still got hurt. Or you were really patient and they weren't. Or you were really kind and they took advantage of your kindness. Or you did a really good job of keeping no record of wrongs and keeping no record of wrongs multiple times and they knew that. And so they did it again because they expected you to keep no record of wrongs. Again. When the Apostle Paul writes that love never fails, he's not saying that showing love will always produce the results that we're hoping to see. And the greatest example of that, of course, is Jesus. Jesus loved the whole world perfectly. And yet not even his perfect love resulted in everybody in the world loving him. And sometimes we have to live often with that same reality as we're the ones who also have to live with broken relationships and broken hearts and broken dreams to the extent that it might make you wonder sometimes why it's even worth it to keep showing love if the results aren't something that you can't guarantee. And I'm going to leave you hanging there today because I want you to wrestle with that. I want you to come up with your answer to that. Like, what would you say when somebody comes to you and says, why should I continue to show love to someone if I can't guarantee that it's going to pay off in the way that I'm looking? Wrestle with that and just know this. I'll give you some really good reasons as we continue through the week.